You are now listening to the LanceScurv Show, the boldest spot on internet radio.
Loved ones are at a loss.
I don't wish this on anybody. Nobody at all.
Just so lost that you're gone is just ridiculous.
Police say Elroy Ashley and Canyon Molitor shot and killed each other Saturday morning outside this St. Johns County convenience store.
It's hard for somebody to have to go this way, and you would never think it would be your family member.
Just the fact that this actually happened, it's unbelievable. There's honestly not even any words for it anymore.
According to deputies, the two men had been arguing online, and when they met up here in this parking lot face to face, a verbal altercation quickly turned to gunfire. Molitor was pronounced dead at the scene, and Ashley died later at the hospital. Molitor's friend Daniel Staring tells me there's no reason worth losing his best friend.
I love the kid though. It's so hard to believe that this happened to him. It really is.
Ashley's sister, Ebony Holloman, wants answers about the argument that killed the father of four.
And it's hard. When you can't tell somebody you love them, you can't have last words to tell something to them. It's hard. It really is hard.
Investigators are reviewing surveillance footage and trying to piece together how the argument got so out of hand.
The video I just played didn't state all of the facts, so I'm going to read the article to catch what that missed. And I just want to give a little short rant after that. This is unfortunate. And I just have to say that this is happening more and more. And it goes undetected in the news. And most people are just becoming numb to it. But let me read this article first. And this is from the Jacksonville.com. And I'll post this below. Here it is. 2 killed in St. John's shootout. It doesn't really tell you much. 2 men died in a shootout Saturday morning during an argument outside a St. Augustine convenience store. Canyon Charles Molitor, 25, suffered multiple gunshot wounds and died at the scene of the shooting about 10 a.m. in the parking lot of King Food Mart, 667 West King Street, said Commander Chuck Mulligan, spokesman for the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. The other man, Elroy Ishmael Ashley, 30, of St. Augustine, was shot at least once. He fled the scene in a private vehicle immediately after the shooting. Sheriff's detectives quickly located the vehicle in the parking lot of Flagler Hospital, where medical personnel were administering emergency treatment to Ashley. He subsequently died after being taken into the hospital for surgery, Mulligan said. Sheriff's Office detectives learned that the man had been involved in a digital communication argument and agreed to meet at the store. Once face-to-face, the 2 men got into a verbal argument, which led to them each brandishing guns and shooting at each other. The gunfire erupted as uninvolved people entered and exited the store, Mulligan said. No other injuries were reported. Sheriff's deputies closed West King Street for several hours while searching for and collecting evidence. Investigation continues into what sparked the initial argument, Mulligan said. Have we lost our minds? Have we really lost our minds? Because there's a good thing. It's a good thing that we don't have to lick stamps. It's quicker. We can speak in live time. But I think when we used to lick stamps more, that we had to take time to think before we put our thoughts down. And it gave us time to cool off. I think we have the ability to communicate too fast now. Some of us are responsible enough to handle it, and others are not. See, we can live life and get to a certain age, teens, 20s, 30s, 40s. But many of us have gaps and cracks in our mental armor and unsolved or unfinished issues that through digital communication, as I said, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, it gets in and it touches nerves within us that we can't really handle. You see, people are walking around here with issues, y'all. And we can walk around and look normal, appear normal. Most of us work hard at appearing normal. But you walk up to somebody you say, hey, man, how are you really doing today? And the initial knee-jerk reaction is, I'm okay. I'm all right. When in fact, lots of times we're not. The world is moving so fast. And this is a strange world for me right now, y'all. I'm in a strange place. I'm not going through a midlife crisis. I think I avoided that, right? But thanks to Mrs. Scurv and the folks here and friends and just the way I'm looking at life. But I'm in a strange place. It's a lonely place. And it's a lonely place for most of us. I am not lonely, but it is a lonely place. The world is not what it used to be. Digital communication is sucking away the life force, the joy. It really is. And is it that serious that you can have an argument with somebody on a social media platform and then go agree to meet up with them and you both have guns and you both shoot each other? One gentleman had 4 kids. I don't know about the other one, but they both died. Now what? Now what? As you heard, the family members were crying. You know, it reminds me of a story that you'll probably never hear about right here in Orlando, Florida. One of my passengers who is an ex-Marine, I'm trying to get him to come on. He has a very busy schedule, but he has a lot of stories to tell. And he cheated death several times, and he's an amazing man. But he has a nephew who just recently did a home invasion with several other friends. They were raised in good homes, went to private schools, very sensible. But oftentimes we find that whenever you are given a privileged life or maybe even lived a bit sheltered, you know, when you go out in the world, you know, those are the kids that go buck wild the most. It just seems that way. You know, thank God I was allowed to have a little freedom, and I still went crazy when I was younger. But if I was sheltered, it would have been more explosive. But that being said, this nephew of his, my friend, did this home invasion, ran up in these folks' homes and ran up in this person's house and got killed. And he was the only one to get killed. The other ones got away. I think the other ones got shot. The details I don't know. I'll bring him on and he'll tell it. But it was unnecessary because they didn't have to do that. But they were dealing in so many different areas that were illegal and had bad karma. And they didn't have to do that because these kids were brilliant. Now he's gone. Now he's gone. And the ironic part was that his buddies who indulged in the home invasion with him, he told me, this gentleman told me, oh, they're taking it so hard. But he's realistic. He's like, well, why are you taking it hard when you know that chances are something may happen bad with you running up in somebody's house? So, you know, he's rest in peace to my dead homie. Oh, it didn't have to be this way. Oh, you know, what do you mean it didn't? Yes, right. You're right. It didn't have to be that way. You don't need to be running up in somebody's house because people have guns too. And if you come up in my house, you will meet your maker. If you're not invited or you intrude or, you know, come on now. You can visit. You can call me. You can even knock the door. Hey, I'm passing through. If I know you, come on in. But you're not going to wake me up out of my sleep and break my glass and come on in and do that and me have sympathy for you? Because evidently when you come in my house with a gun, you intend to kill me, don't you? Well, my family loves me and I don't want them to cry. The same way that when I'm in the street, look, I get cursed out every day on the bus just for sitting there. Yo, damn bus driver. They think I make $1 million. They don't know the bills that I have to pay. They don't know the efforts that I'm manifesting in my personal life. You know, the lack of sleep sometime, the lack of downtime. You know, thank God Mrs. Scurv is a ride or die type woman and she supports me 100, 1,000, 10,000. There's no way a brother's going to work 2 jobs and do as much as I do. That's not even bragging. I always give her props and the God above and you guys for encouraging me. But this is where I take out my frustrations. If I want to say, look, I'm passionate about life and I'm passionate about my viewpoints and perspectives, but I would never lose sight that that's all it is and it can evolve. So if somebody doesn't like me or somebody doesn't agree with what I have to say, so be it. It's okay. We can shadow box verbally on social media, but then after I cut these buttons off, guess what? I have a real life. Many of us forget that we have a real life. Many of us forget that we have real people that love us. that when we do something foolish, it's going to hurt them. Think of your family members, your significant others, your friends, the people who care for you. Yes, we're all going to leave this planet at some point. And unfortunate accidents happen, sicknesses happen, freak accidents. We can't stop that. But what hurts the most is when it's something unnecessary. Do you really want to go out like that? We need to disconnect from social media every now and again if we can't seem to take it. If we're so caught up in it that way where it permeates into our private life. I love my private life. It seems like I don't have a private life, but LanceScurv has a private life. LanceScurv laughs, he travels, he eats different foods. Of course I do. Mr. Scurv's Kitchen, right? But, we try to keep our mind elsewhere. Even when I'm driving that bus for 10 hours a day, my mind is elsewhere because I know that there are new realities out there. I know there are new friends that I have yet to meet, new laughs to experience, new things that I have to learn and also pass on to people and teach them. People inspire me and I inspire people. I am in this thing called life. But social media seems to take that away. I don't know what's in our head. It's almost like a young boy who comes out of the theater after watching a Rocky movie, a young Italian kid, right? Now he feels he can whip everybody. And he walks right into a butt whipping. You know what I mean? Eddie Murphy did a skit about that, right? About the man who came, yeah, Rocco! Hey, Rocco! These Italian guys came out, felt they could beat everybody. They wanted to beat the big black guy and he got smashed. That's the mentality we have when we get on social media. We're amped up. We have things in our head. And when you have things in your head so strong, and when you run up against somebody who has things in their head so strong, both of your minds are in different places. Anything can happen. This is very dangerous, y'all. Be careful how you deal with people out in the street. You don't know what's in their head. You don't know what deficiencies they have in their makeup, right? The things that they lack in their character. And it's so easy to get online and argue with people about this and argue with people about that. You're not going to win that. That's like you trying to take a little bucket and collect every grain of sand on the beach. It never stops. There are billions of people on social media. You are not going to make that kind of impact. Michael Jackson died, one of the greatest entertainers ever known. And I'm not saying he's forgotten. His body of work is left, but you're not hearing things about Michael Jackson every minute. Michael Jackson. The man has transitioned. The only reason we see things of him is because of what he left. And I know one thing. I know Michael Jackson, right? So when I transition on, this stuff will sink like a person sinking in quicksand. All the social media stuff that I've done will slowly take its place and will fade away. Why are we so involved with this thing? Live life, y'all. Create the memories with your family. Don't give them a reason to cry because of you leaving earlier than you should because of something foolish. Give them a reason to laugh. Give them a reason to chuckle. Give them a reason to live on because of the memories that you left behind on a righteous level. That's how I want to live life. I want my transition event to be one big happy party.
Make sure to check out the boldest blog at LanceScurv.com and follow Scurv on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube under LanceScurv.